on the break. It's exactly 3 minutes past 9. Smart means the business. I'm Andrew Barigi. Definitely, I'm joined with Hanifa as we are going to be breaking down a few matters regarding the non-alignment movement. But of course, before we get in there, still allow to remind you, Smart24 TV, you can follow us on our social media handles at Smart24 TV, that's on Twitter, Smart24 TV Official, that's on Facebook, and Smart24 TV Live, that's on YouTube, where you can be able to stream us at any part of the world that you will be at. But for those of you that are much more obsessed with gadgets, go to your Google Play Store, download the Smart Digital application, and once you have that, and you will be able to still watch Smart24 TV, and stream NBS Radio, and also Smart FM at the same time. And for those of you with decoders, GOTV channel 320 and DSTV channel 372, Smart24, we drive business. Now, of course, it's the road to now, just a few days left. I think we're counting down 4 days. Yeah, before we get into that. And I'm with Hanifa, who's the reporter at Parliament. We break down these matters here as we, take a look, give some few insights regarding that. We're excited about the now. Every person we are thinking, it reminds me back in 2007.
Yeah, the Chogam.
The Chogam perspective.
Yeah.
And, after Chogam, 2 years later, business as usual, the infrastructure, it became rugged like before.
It has never been maintained.
It has never been maintained.
Yeah.
Still up to date.
Yeah. These campaigns, rather these conferences, come with excitement. Of course, they send in money. They give a country that is hosting money to prepare. That is where we are seeing the beautiful roads. Everything is being worked on, which is okay, which is a very good thing. But we want those things to stay.
Look at long term.
Exactly, long term. So that we as Ugandans, the ordinary people, also benefit from these things. They're like, okay, we hosted NAM, and then we remained with this. We remained with this. We had investors coming in, and then we got jobs from this, and then that is what we want as Ugandans. We just don't want these things to happen, and then after these people go, and then the business gets back and the roads get destroyed, and everything everything beautifully that has been made goes back to its the normal Uganda, the potholes and whatever. Yeah, but otherwise. These are very good conferences for the country. They put us up there at Uganda. You know that there are some people who don't know that Uganda exists.
Absolutely.
There are some Europeans, Americans, they don't know the country Uganda. When you mention Uganda, the only country they know in Africa is South Africa. When you mention South Africa, they think all of us belong to South Africa.
And Egypt.
Egypt, they know it because of the pyramids.
Libya. Yeah, we are known for Idi Amin.
The Idi Amin we are known for in the Arab countries. Of course, they know Uganda. When you talk about Uganda, like I'm from Uganda, like Idi Amin, they only know that one person. They think Uganda is some count of some sort of. But we are a country. We are a country now that we are hosting such big conferences.
Yeah, but you see, when I look into this perspective, first of all, it brings us to the ideology of the NAM ideology. Of course, the Cold War perspective, where we claim that we don't align to either communist or the capitalist bloc. But then I want to understand most of the associations that we have in Africa, most especially we Africans, we take too dear. It's known our origin in terms of idea, that this is our idea to create.
Yes.
And you find that even the money itself that funds these movements comes from the colonial powers. So that means there is a high degree of influencing policy in that, because you clearly see the underdevelopments which are into Uganda is literally in the lower income bracket of the NAM nations. If you take a look at the top, yet it's been a loyal member, actually, not just a member, but a loyal member for quite some time.
Yeah.
Many of the countries that are hosted at these conferences, the advantage they have actually obtained is a political advantage, most especially in maintaining geopolitical tensions. But there is a limited attribute to any economic reforms that are attached to the NAM. And to me, that really poses quite lots of questions about the non-alignment movement.
Yeah, so this movement was started in 1961 with the view of advancing interest of developing countries in the context of Cold War confrontations.
Exactly.
Yeah, and when you look at the forefathers of NAM, these were bigger African like
the leaders who fought for a revolution.
Exactly.
At the moment. Yeah.
Who fought for it. We look at Abdel Nasser of Egypt.
Yeah.
We look at Kwame Nkrumah of Ghana, and some some other countries that got independence before us. These are very many countries now. As we say, they are how many? 123 something.
Actually, 53 from Africa, 26 from Latin America, 39 from Asia, and 2 from Europe. But so Africa, we constitute the biggest number, 53.
Now, if we that is a quite a big number.
Very big.
When it comes to protecting the interest of member states, we don't see this NAM coming out. We don't see it like the G7. We have the G7 exactly. Countries. When anything happens in their country, they sit, they organize. You see them making conferences. You see, this is it. This is happening here in Italy. Here, Italy is also now a member of the G7.
The G7.
Because if anything happens to any of the G7 members, they know it is going to affect these other members.
Exactly.
So we have the NAM. If anything happens to any of the member states, these NAM countries would be coming out. I don't know if it's just not trust. We don't trust each other when it comes to in terms of cooperation and
yes.
I don't understand it. But NAM these are very many countries. They are more than the G7 countries. They can sit down. China. China is a big economy now. It competes with America. Actually, it is a powerful. We have India. Yeah, we have India. India fought for independence, and it made sure these other African countries also get their independence. These are bigger economies. So if these countries come and then they sit down and then they have rules. I don't know what
constitution, a framework.
Exactly, operation framework. Like we need to help each other in terms of developing each other. We see that if a country is lagging behind, how do we help it? We have so many Indians here. Yes, our president is very welcoming. We have so many Indians here. How many Ugandans are working? What is their pay? Like,
are they paying the Ugandans
exactly
the wage?
Yes, the wage that
it's a little exploitative actually, compared to the living standards.
We have so many Chinese. We have so many Chinese factories here. What are they paying to Ugandans? They pay them 5,000 a day. What is that money going to do?
Honestly,
that is very little. Like, we look at such things like Uganda. You don't have a minimum wage bill. Why don't you have it? Your people need to develop. What needs to be done in these movements? That is what we need to feel. Because if you go and tell an ordinary Ugandan about this non-aligned whatever NAM and G77, they have no information. They don't care. They sip cup of speakers. We have a conference of speakers. They have no idea. They don't know
because they don't see the impact. A few people are going to be benefit probably them. Venue owners paid this money, but then a person who's down there in Kalere market doesn't see the significance of this, because even in this particular area, they have only even the infrastructure has been focused on areas where the delegates will pass, not in this area. So what does it mean? What business does he have with it?
Exactly. We are seeing these most of the non-aligned members. We run to the G7 countries.
G7, yes.
We run to the developed countries, we run to America for aid, financial assistance. Why? Why don't we run to these other members of the non-aligned movement, and they lend us at a more affordable
price? And by the way, Hanifa, when you mentioned that, India right now is one of the economies that are being looked up to 2020 globally when it comes to economic prosperity. India and Brazil, largely energy. Investments in energy. So I'm trying to really understand how can we even use the advantage India is having on the global perspective and localize it to the NAM nations.
Exactly.
That's the issue.
Exactly. Did they just remain in paper? These movements were started by Africa, like these people who had nationalists, African nationalists.
Nationalists, yeah.
Abdel Nasser, I remember the history in national whatever. If you did that history, African nationalism. Yes. I remember those people fought for Africa. Those people fought for Africa. We had leaders like Libya who were killed by the people who are not in the non-alignment movement. Non-alignment
movement.
Yes.
The G7.
The G7. Who was killed?
So that's an attack on the NAM.
Exactly, on the NAM. And the NAM members were just seated comfortably. They think it will not affect them because, but your members, one of your members is being attacked.
We actually make a biggest, even membership of the UN. The NAM nation.
And funny talk about when you talk about the UN. We have this Israel Gaza war. All the countries, 100 and whatever countries said ceasefire.
Ceasefire.
And one member, who is America, and these other small countries who are, of course, friends of America. They're very small. These other countries said, I think they also sided with that because they had no choice.
No choice, yeah.
About four countries said no. And the war is still going on.
Okay.
So meaning that we are useless. We like our voices are useless as these other African countries. We don't have a say. America is big, it will say this. We will not ceasefire. If America had said ceasefire and these other countries said no, the war would have stopped because it is America which is saying.
Okay.
So what is the say? If we have this movement and we make it more powerful to the UN and these other movements, and we say if Palestine or Israel, because Palestine is not counted as a country. So like we stop this war, we put pressure on Israel, the war would have stopped. But we have no say. Actually,
it's one of the discussions analysts are arguing for when it comes to Uganda being chairman, being given this percentage. How are we going to influence the geopolitical tensions, most especially when it comes to the war in Gaza, and Israel? How are we going to handle that, making sure that member states will balance up their interests in all directions?
Because when you look at that war now, if that war escalates, the Suez Canal, which transports most of the oil, the fuel, the goods, will be affected because the Yemen's already started. They already started fighting in the waters. If that war is not stopped, it is going to escalate fighting in these waters.
And it will spread across the Horn of Africa.
Exactly. Fuel prices have already started going high because of that war. Like the ship owners, they don't want risk. They don't want risk. Of course, some of the ships have been destroyed. They don't want risk that. They are going across Europe and Africa to get to their destinations, which is quite. But if we had voices as these other countries that we have the sovereignty power, if countries were respected. If we were respected, you look at these conferences in UN, United Nations, it is a barking dog with no teeth. It cannot bite. The UN, you see the UN, all of them voting that you cease fire. And the war goes on. And America says, let the war go on. And everyone is just quiet. Like, what is that? Like, we pass a law here in Uganda, the anti-homosexuality bill. And countries that are not comfortable. Of course, that is where we get the aid.
The aid, yeah.
Yeah, and they have terms for their aid, and you cannot blame them because when you have your beliefs as African. Yes, we don't believe in the homosexuality here. We as Africans, we don't want that. But you're begging. You are begging for what? For aid from these countries. If NAM was very active, would be getting aid from the NAM nations, be getting aid from India.
Just like the European Union.
Yes, without strings attached. Like, you respect me, I'm going to return this money. After all, this money is going, it is just
It's
being borrowed.
developing me, and it's helping me for the good. If one member succeeds, the entire association is definitely succeeding.
Exactly. That is how we want to benefit. We want to see these organizations, these conferences, these big. This is the big thing. By the big thing, and people don't know that it is big. It is quite big. That is what we want to see as Africans. That is what we want to see as Ugandans. Now that we are going to take the chairmanship, can our president say something and it is respected?
Okay. Because he's not now speaking as president of Uganda.
Yeah.
But he's speaking as the chairman.
The chairman of NAM.
Yeah.
Can the chairman of NAM say something and it is respected? In these other NAM nations, can the president of Uganda, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, say something to China and it is respected? Say something to India and it is respected? And it is what? Now we
Let's
have
really be non-aligned. Whereby you mentioned something about we are not how be that the Ukraine and Russia war, we kind of get affected when it comes to the trade perspectives. If we don't belong to any of communist, then we have no business about tensions. So for us, we should still transact normally.
Exactly.
So that means even our cultural sovereignty should be endangered, which at the end of the day turns into an economic disaster.
Yes. Why is it that when Qatar said during the World Cup said no bringing homosexuality slogans here?
Yeah.
It was respected. It was respected by Americans. They said the World Cup went on. Why? Exactly. Why do they have to dictate terms?
They had a voice.
Exactly, they had a voice. Why do they have to dictate terms for small countries like Uganda? Why? Okay. Why do we have to, we need to have we are past colonialism now. Yeah. This imperialism is a the president the other time was talking about it. I think this imperialism is he called it is deadly. It is
had a long speech for that.
people should respect countries' decisions. That is how countries
told them to stay in their lane.
Stay in your lane. Yeah. And let me come to America and I respect the culture there. Let the Americans come here and respect the culture here. If I don't believe in your thing, don't force me to believe in yours. That is how nations can benefit from such organizations. Now we have the African or whatever organization.
African Union.
The African Unions. Yes. Organization of African whatever. We have wars in Africa and they just sit. They just go there for money.
For money, actually. What really hurts me so much, we have within the NAM nations, we have a country like Democratic Republic of Congo, which has gone through wars.
Yeah.
Its independence. And there is no voice that is coming up to see this is a huge potential of mining minerals exploited by these countries, and a certain percentage is invested back into the economy to give people jobs, establish banks, establish more investments, but nothing. It's all silent. And the biggest beneficiaries from that minerals are not part of. They are the G7.
The G7.
So
they're the ones that put the armies there to protect.
So I would put that to the chairperson, the different chairpersons who have been chairing the previous NAM. Yeah. No one has been mentioning about that.
Actually, this is calling upon our president, who is going to take now the chairmanship of the NAM.
Exactly.
We have the war in Somalia. We have the war.
Myanmar itself, it's part.
Yeah, it's part. I'm just getting to know that Myanmar is also. We have countries that have been infested with war, but these countries they have a potential. They have minerals. Look, talk about Congo here. Yeah, Somalia has so many minerals.
Many don't want to speak about that.
It has.
I don't think
it has. And it is like the Horn of Africa, where it has the sea.
The sea, exactly.
The trade there. It is disrupted. If Somalia was peaceful, Africa, because they call Africa, Somalia is in East Africa now.
Yeah, it's part.
East Africa would have developed. There are so many chances that we are losing. There are so many opportunities that we are losing as Africans if these wars continue. But we have failed to manage them. As Africans. If we have now the chairmanship of the NAM, can he say something to do something about the war in Congo? Congo has timber, Congo has gold, Congo has lithium, it has what? It has so many things. It has so many things. It is a very big country. It is a very huge country. They can even decide to to split Congo because I was shocked. I was shocked that some kind like going to some parts of Congo, you need to take a plane.
Yeah, it's really a big nation.
It is a big country, so they can even decide. I don't know. I'm just saying it's my own opinion. If this country is too big to govern,
yeah,
let them split it. Let this other country, this other side have its own on leadership, and this other side, just like they did to Sudan. Sudan was too big. And this the South Sudanese, they felt that they are being sidelined
because they are racial.
Of course, the race. They have the culture is different. They are very, very dark, and they were segregated from the northern people who are a bit of Arab something. They speak. Oh yes, they speak Arabic. They speak Arabic. All south and the north, they speak Arabic. Yes, they have that. But it was too big, and the war continued until when they decided to split this country to have some peace. Like Sudan has oil, they can still share that. Even South Sudan has oil.
Yeah,
they can still share that as a country. They can share that, but we just need peace. And you know, this G7, something with the G7. This, of course, they started the First and World War, the First World War and the Second World War. But they came down to sit and say, now we need to develop our nations. All these other countries in the G7. Okay. Look at Germany. Look at France, the US. Look at France. Look at Italy. These are the wars. These are the countries who are fighting in these wars, in the First and Second War, and they destroyed economies. They destroyed everything of theirs, and then they came to realize that
war is not going to take.
No, war. Yeah, exactly. It is not going to take us anywhere. They sat down and then let's start developing.
Let's form. That's when those European Union associations started.
Exactly. Because if you attack a European member now, Ukraine, the process is not yet the process has not ended, but it is now. They are accepted that it is now going to be part of the European Union. There, Russia would be threatened. You cannot just attack a member of the European Union and the others don't come.
Exactly.
Now they don't come out because it is not yet paperwork is still not yet done, and you know what is required to be a member. It
wouldn't just have been easy for Russia to have its way.
Exactly. You cannot just attack a member of the European Union or a member of G7 and America doesn't come out and the British does not come out for you.
But a member of NAM is attacked and no one.
Look at the East African community here. One member is Congo is now a democrat. The democratic part of the Congo is now part of East Africa. The war is still there, and the East African, we are just there.
And looking at even the trade wars between Uganda and Kenya, Tanzania, which is also seems to be hard-hearted.
Why
Yet we are all part of the same movement.
Exactly. Why do we have that? When the British decided to exit, the Brexit decided to exit from the European Union, but they still work together as Europe,
as trade partners.
As trade partners, they still work together. We need that as Africans. When are we going to stop? Like when are we going to stop that these other countries from thinking for us?
Very true. It's exactly 27 minutes past 9. We're discussing the road to now. Should we really be excited about now? What is really exciting about now? And most especially when it comes to being the chairperson of now. A population of 6.4 billion people, constituting about 58% of the world's total population. And Uganda is commanding this population. What advantage, what economic advantage are we driving it, most especially when it comes to fostering regional integration and continental integration? Well, we're still having this discussion shortly. Let's take a short break. But still, when we return, we have some breakdown of the Auditor General's report for the financial year 2023. Stick around.
Smart 24, driving business.
Jovia ng'oyolekera ku lugendo luno olw'obulamu nkuwa ekirabo eky'amaanyi agatazizibwa, amaanyi okulabibwa n'okuwulirwa mu mawanga ageewala ennyo, okutuuka buli wamu nga yadde togenzeeyo, ensi yonna ng'ekuli mu ngalo. Okutambula mu biseera n'okumanya buli kimu ekirina okumanyibwa. Jovia, kino kye kirabo kyange gy'oli.
Tewali kumuko ki ky'osobola okukola ku mukutu nnandameggwa ogwa MTN.
Happy New Year, our tech lovers, and welcome to 2024. Now, this year we begin with a report on Tesla. Now, we have a report that Tesla has been reported to have 4,855,000 deliveries for the fourth quarter, bringing 2023 total to 1.8 million. Now, Tesla just reported fourth quarter vehicle production and deliveries for 2023. And during the company's third quarter earnings call in October, the CEO Elon Musk said that the Model Y was likely to be the best-selling car on Earth, but not just in revenue, but in unit volume this year. Now, the company previously offered guidance that it would notch at least 1.8 million deliveries for the full year in 2023. In its last earnings call in October 2023, Tesla Exes offered guidance that the company would notch at least 1.8 million deliveries for the full year 2023, a number they had revised down from a 2 million goal earlier. Now, analysts had expected Tesla to report deliveries of about 4,777,000 for the year-ending quarter, according to a consensus of estimates compiled by Street Account as of December 28, 2023. Now, deliveries are the closest approximation of sales reported by Tesla, but are not precisely defined in the company's shareholder communications. Now, during third quarter earnings call in October, Tesla CEO Musk once again said that the company's Model Y was likely to be the best-selling car on Earth, but not just in revenue, but in unit volume for the full year 2023. Now, Tesla does not break out delivery and production numbers by individual model, but also with report combined numbers. Now, Tesla produced over 47,677 Model 3 and Model Y vehicles during the quarter and reported about 461,538 deliveries for these models. It did not break down Model S or X production or delivery numbers. Instead, it batched them up in two other models, which produced about 18,212 other models and delivered 22,969 during the quarter. Now, when asked about 2024, this is what the CEO had to say. Now, the CEO, of course, delivered and said, outlook for deliveries on the company's last earnings call. Musk said that at the risk of stating the obvious, it is not possible to have a compound growth rate of 50% forever, or you will exceed the mass of the known universe. But I think we'll grow very rapidly, which will be much faster than any other car company on earth by far by 2024 closes. And he continued to say that Tesla is now focused on growing their volumes in a very cost-efficient manner and will provide 2024 guidance on the next earnings call, said Elon Musk, who is the CEO of Tesla. Ladies and gentlemen, for those that have been watching the Tech Bite, that is all we had as we open 2024. Enjoy and take care. Thank you.
Smart 24, driving business.
Minutes to the top of your Smart Means Business, definitely heading into the last minutes of the show. And like I told you, we have something from the Auditor General's report. Without wasting any time, let's take a look at what really transpired there.
Right, Honorable Speaker, during our previous engagement with yourself, you requested my office to undertake audits on Atiak Sugar, Speak Resort Munyonyo, and International Hospital of Uganda in Lubowa, including increasing the number of VFM audits undertaken by my office. The findings for Atiak Sugar and Speak Resort Munyonyo have been included in this report, while the report for Lubowa Hospital will be submitted to you within a period of 2 weeks. We have also since then been able to increase the VFM audits from 15 in the previous year to now 25 in this current year. In conclusion, Right Honorable Speaker, I have provided key highlights book, of which the findings mentioned in this brief are a part. This brief is only intended to stir your interest in the findings laid down in the consolidated report before you today and the accompanying individual reports relating to the ministries, departments and agencies, statutory corporations and state enterprises, local governments, value for money audits, engineering audits, information technology, IT audits, forensics and special audits.
The fulfillment of Article 163(4) of the Constitution that requires that the Auditor General will submit the audited accounts by himself or her under Clause 3 of the article for the financial year that has immediately preceded. The submission of this report marks the beginning of the parliamentary scrutiny, for which I undertake to make sure the timely scrutiny is done. That is under Article 163(5) of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda, and this must be done within 6 months. And that's why I had to come along with the leader of opposition, because these reports are for the leader of opposition. He's supposed to check government on what has been done, and I'm very happy with your findings. And I want to request your leader of opposition that we are going to hand over these reports to you today, and we pray that we receive reports back within the 6 months. Let's not have any backlog, and let's not continue adopting reports which have not been scrutinized. It shows a vote of no confidence, but I believe you're going to make sure that things work out, and that's why you're here. And this meeting is actually you as a leader of opposition. The motion was in the 10th Parliament, and it was passed and agreed upon that the moment you finish the 6 months and you've not finished the scrutiny of the audit reports, we adopt omnibus, and that's what we have been doing. We adopt omnibus and send it to finance for a treasury memoranda. Now, when the treasury memoranda comes, we now forward it back to you, Auditor General, to check whether what you found out has been corrected, and that is the complete cycle of accountability. That is the accounting cycle. So as Parliament, we'll do our part, we'll do our role in ensuring that we scrutinize what you found out. And I'm very happy with your findings. You've been very keen, especially on PDM. This needs to be handled very, very well. This money, if we are saying we want to build the 39%, much as the percentage is small, but the money should be put in proper use. The value for money audit must be done properly. We have put a lot of money in most of these institutions, and in the name of buying shares. So we need to know how much money do we have there, how is our money doing, and it is not just a matter of donation. Let's have this money audited, and I'm happy when we gave you work to do that you've done it. Thank you so much. And it also helps us in the public debt. It will help us in ensuring that we now reduce the thirst of borrowing. Problem that we have where we have a recommendation, this person must be transferred from here because he has made a mistake here. Let's not create that virus to move from one district to the other to the other. If somebody has made a mistake, let's bring the person to book, not just transferring vices from one area to the other. So you need to talk to your committees on that.
All right, those are insights seen there from the Auditor General's report officials right there. And Hanifa was definitely there to, witness what really transpired. I'm seeing headlines today, majority of the discussions are lying on workers being put of the 10,000 ghost workers.
Yeah.
That is. And to delete 10,000 people from the payroll, ghost workers who showed up for head counting, but they didn't, they failed a validation test. People who are deleted from the payroll, but were still getting money.
Yeah.
And people who have never existed at all, getting money.
That is what we are having with the debt of 96.168 trillion shillings that we have to pay. We are still wasting money paying ghost workers. These guys picked my lead in my story yesterday.
Yeah.
I was so interested in this. Why are we still paying? Why is the government still paying 100 more than 10,000 workers? Over 53 billion is being paid every financial year to people who don't exist, who are not supposed to be on the payroll, who are not working for government at all, but they are receiving money. People are there seated. You're seeing people building houses, apartments, owning malls. You don't know where they're getting money. Kumbe they are on government salary, plus there are other businesses, and they are not even working for this money. It is so absurd. It is quite absurd. But who is not doing their job? Because if each entity has an accounting officer, it has an accountant, it has an auditor. Auditor is supposed to check for all these mistakes. Why so and so is not a worker here? Who is paying? That means accounting officers are privy to these things that are happening.
Exactly.
They know what exactly
is happening. They are aware
what is
happening.
They are aware. The money goes to so and so is not a teacher here. But the money, this person keeps getting money. And when the list comes, the name is there. But when we are looking for this person, the person does not exist in the school. So who is not doing their job? Why is the country losing a lot of money to people who are not supposed to be getting money to
on top of the public needs, there is wastage of potential resources, because 53 billion can fund innovation. I saw yesterday the people from NARO, the anti-tick vaccine, they are
looking for money.
They are looking for 64 billion.
64 billion.
And now 53 billion is paid out to people that are non-choosing wasted. That could be a good percentage to add on this innovation.
To add on such
because this innovation is saving us 3.7 trillion from cattle that die of ticks.
Exactly.
So
now we have anthrax. And people are scared of buying meat.
Yeah.
Even I personally, I fear now eating meat of late. We have entities that are doing research. They need money.
Exactly.
And the other time I was looking at silicone, we did a story on silicone factory. These people were doing silk. They have those caterpillars that are producing silk. The company was abandoned. We can make silk. What do we get from silk? We get materials. We get silk materials. We get medicine. There are so many things that we get from silk. But the factory, when they visited it, it is there. It is in the shambles. The people in charge, they don't give it money every financial year. Yet that money is allocated. Like, what is not happening? Like, who is responsible? I think. Our president is tolerant and lenient. I need Sachinji, like, to his people, like, those people. Someone is investigated. They are recommended. so and so should be removed.
And no action is done.
No
Just
action.
transferred.
They're just transferred. You remove this person from this ministry and take them to the other ministry, and they still do the same thing.
The same thing.
Because people don't change. You're used to taking money,
Stealing.
to stealing. You can
steal.
never change. Like, people should be punished, and it will not stop. It doesn't stop at just chasing them. People should refund this money, these funds. Now, like the PDM, the
Talk
attorney.
about PDM.
Talk about PDM.
KCCA having 6 billion.
Attorney General.
Yeah.
Attorney General, the office said PDM money, yes, was dispersed 1 point something trillion, but they discovered that 604 projects that were not allowed because PDM had its own like they outlined the projects that you're supposed to do. 600 and whatever
Projects.
you remember each person is getting 1 million and something. So the 600 and something.
About 7, okay, let's calculate 700 million. Because
Exactly.
1 point something. 1.1, I think.
But these people received money. And the Attorney General's office is urging government, please recover this money. Because people did projects that were not allowed. And they have not these projects that were refused. This money was just eaten. Like, because someone can say, I did this project and it did not what?
It didn't make the money.
It did not make the money. I remember this was supposed to return this money. Because leave along this idea of people thinking that this is free money. This is money that's supposed to be returned back to the what? The consolidated fund.
But the challenge comes in that the people that are receiving this money, they are mainly minded. What is in their mind is basic needs. Somebody doesn't have access to water. He has to pay school fees. Somebody has to buy his wife a dress. Definitely when he gets 1 million, what is he going to think about? I don't know that the people that plan such initiatives really look into that psychological aspect of human behavior when it comes to somebody who has been used to getting 20,000 and now you're giving them 1 million.
It is quite funny because even when you give me money,
Right
money is is tempting. Money is very tempting. You give me 1 M, I have so many other needs. I'll first like, I need to pay this. I need to buy this dress. Why should I first buy? That's why I was suggesting that projects should be like government buys a project for someone and then they are given the project without giving them cash.
So they run the project.
Cash. This is
So they run the project instead of being given cash. They run that project.
Exactly. You run the project. We've bought tailoring machines for young girls. If you have your circle, come here. We teach you whatever.
That's like what Idi Amin did when the agents were just he could freeze their money and give it to the people, but he gave them the property. That's a good idea.
But I hear even those Indians were paid.
They were paid.
Yes, they were paid.
Of course, mentioned it in the court. He wrote to the governments of India, UK, and I think India. Okay, I can recall UK, Asian countries. He paid them the money. Even the Bank of Uganda has records of each Indian where they used to operate the business and how much money they were
And
paying.
even some of the shops still exist. Actually, they do. Put them in that business.
Yeah.
Okay, if it fails, it is their fault.
It's their fault.
But you give them but you're giving someone cash. The auditors said some people did projects that don't exist. Like some people say some circles come and then they're like, we are going to do this, but it does not exist on paper. So they're urging the permanent secretary to recover these monies. We need to use this money for better use. We have so many things that we can put this money to. We have a debt, for God's sake. 96. And they said the speed at which the public debt is running. It is very fast compared to the GDP.
It's running faster than that's
faster than the GDP. That is a very worrying.
Debt to income ratio, if you consider debt to income ratio, that is doubling the income.
Exactly, that is a very worrying state as we are in as Ugandans. We need tougher measures. Someone comes here and they say they are going to be tough. permanent secretary when he had just gotten that position. He was so tough, and you see, we used to feed it. These things are happening. They are going to stand up some accounting officers. Change is going to come, but still things are not moving. We are still in that state. People are stealing money, government money is supposed to be developing other things. Like, why don't we emulate countries like Tanzania? No, there's no corruption in those countries.
Recently, the president of Tanzania fired. Let me look for that. I mean, you've mentioned Tanzania, and you reminded me that I took a photo of that report here. I think I took it a screenshot. The president of Tanzania firing an entire board recently of electricity board due to blackouts in that is in Tanzania. And Samia, President Hassan, decided to fire the electricity board. They had to explain why we're having the blackouts. That's action. It's here. Tanzania's president, Samia Suluhu, has fired the entire electricity board over repeated blackouts. Now, she dissolved the board of the Tanzania Railways Corporation due to mismanagement of $215 million. That was in April. She sacked the CEO of Tanzania Government Flight Agency over $49 million fraud.
Yeah,
just down here in Tanzania.
We need. By the way, Andrew, I don't mind a dictator as a president, as long as we have.
There is enforcement.
There's enforcement on the ground. There's no corruption. People are not stealing money that is supposed to belong to this and this and this. We have a health sector is doing bad, and people are taking away from the sick. People are taking away from the sick. People are taking away from the poor. Why? I do not mind a dictator as a president.
Yeah.
I do, as long as he orders this and this and it happens, so that we Ugandans, ordinary Ugandans, also benefit from their country. When you go to Tanzania, you're like, yeah, they have the best roads in East Africa. Tanzania has the best roads. You can't even compare.
Okay. We have about 6 minutes left. Maybe before that, I want in 2 minutes. What do you think? Do you think we need forensic auditors?
Our auditor is doing a good job because he has explained everything. Where we're losing money. Even Munyonyo, he mentioned, Attack Factory mentioned. Munyonyo here, yes. Of course, they appropriated money for Munyonyo. But still, Munyonyo did not disclose their percentage. Government brought its percentage. Munyonyo has not disclosed theirs. Why? We have business people. We have business.
Have they showcased what they have used the money for? Are they accountable? Because I may not care. You may not reveal, but am I seeing progress on ground that I'm seeing new developments? Right?
No, if we are in a what? That agreement. If I'm bringing 15 billion, you must also present what you're bringing. What if you're using the 15 billion that I'm giving you to build that, and then you tell me that you've used 90 billion, yet you've used 15 billion? We need what? Transparency. All this.
So they're not revealing the actual.
Yes, they are not revealing theirs.
What they spend to put there.
What they are going to spend. It is only us who are.
Amazing.
It is only the government that is bringing. We have. I do not actually applaud the Auditor General's office. They're doing a very incredible work. They query everything, every aspect. They look to detail, like this and this, medium, this and this and this. That is what we need as a country. And everything is there. We just need action.
So that should be the framework when it comes to knowing competent workers and incompetent and action to be taken.
Fire people.
Fire workers.
Fire them.
Because
they're not doing
too much government allowances.
Because and if
getting good salary, it comes on time.
Exactly. Ivan, you're given an entity. You're the accounting officer. You know your workers. Why does money have to go to ghost workers when you're the accounting officer? You know each and every worker.
That means I'm not patriotic.
Exactly, you're not patriotic, and perhaps you're the one stealing that money.
All right, it's exactly 2 minutes past 9. Smart Means Business. I've been with Hanifa. We're breaking down as to the Auditor General's report, which was out yesterday. But of course, further details as developments proceed. We shall be giving those updates. Thanks for being part of the show. Smart Means Business. Till tomorrow, have yourselves a wonderful day and a good one.